Grand Rising family, it's Shay Seeking, and this is Not Your Mama's Bible Study, along with a little bit of history live. So, sorry. Today we're going to go ahead and go into Proverbs, just to touch on it just a little bit. And we're going to be talking about, sorry, I do still have something wrong with my throat, so I do sound a little bit different. But it's something, I don't know, that puts me in like a uneasy, feeling because again, I've already, gone through what can we say trials and tribulations when it comes to the word. So I'm at a certain point when I'm looking at this that can't really be moved by man. Okay. So again, although the Bible does says, let no man deceive you, but then there are certain instances where, like I'm saying throughout the whole Bible, these are more than likely mere men that have come and gone and created a narrative or a entity outside of yourself, okay, in order to have you waiting on and hoping for and having what does it say? Having faith and belief in this entity that hasn't shown himself, which again, during this creation, if this is the way it goes, he could have clearly done so. Okay. But again, that's neither here nor there. People have this faith and belief, and I am in a way of knowing. Okay. So, and that's okay with me. Okay. So there's no throttling back to the old way of seeing things for me anymore. So, again, we're going to go ahead and go into the scripture because it's something that just bothers me a lot about this lean not onto your own understanding. But what does it say? Trust in the Lord or something like this, right? So me on this Bible study, knowing that from doing extensive research in all different areas, meaning history, looking at other things like the emerald tablets and the Nag Hammadi and, studying and researching all these things, you always get led back to the Bible once you're in a certain understanding and a level of seeing, because it just puts it in plain sight. Because the only thing that they did, like I said, was use a generational, use spelling to, deceive people in their caste system, right? So, so I see things a little bit differently. I think a lot more people are coming into this way here, but I always had like a little bit of an issue with that because people use this like there's not other stuff going on within the chapter. Okay, so I'm just gonna read really quick from a King James version that I have here of what I'm talking about in case you're not aware. And it says, "My son, forget not my law." Now this is Solomon. Wait, this is who? The Proverbs of King Solomon of Israel. Okay, and the son of David, or David's son. Okay, so it says, "For my son, forget not my law." Okay, so it says, "Forget not my law." So Solomon had laws. Okay, he didn't say he didn't say don't forget God's laws or the Lord's laws. He said mine, right? So this is father to son to a certain extent, if we're looking at it like this. It can also be master to servant. It can also be a form of hierarchy, speaking to one of his, let's say like a general or someone from a higher level of military might, speaking to one of their, followers or one of their soldiers. This could be going either way, right? So, but we're thinking because it's saying the son of and things like this, and like even when we look back in ancestry, they use these terms when we're talking about presidents for some reason in order to speak of this. They'll tell the story and they'll say, this is such and such the son of this, whatever. Okay. So it sounds very similar. So it says, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. So again, this is is seeming to be, okay? Because we started out saying that this is the message for him, okay? And I don't really see anything that's saying Jesus or God or anything. Like I said, I'm focused on this chapter, but I did kind of read 3 through kind of like 6 a little bit just to kind of get where we were. But this seems like directions from a father, I guess, to a son. Okay. So it says, keep my commandments. So whatever Solomon's commandments would be, I guess we can go look at that. Okay. It says, for length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. So again, this is somebody saying all this stuff, peace is going to come to you if you do these commandments or whatever. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. So don't let mercy or truth, okay? So, and since we're right here already, we're already looking at fear here. I'm going to come back to it later. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and look at mercy. We'll just see what that is first. God's forgiveness of his creatures, okay, offenses. So again, if we're looking at, okay, let's finish. Reward, gift, kindness, grace, pity, rewards, wages, pay, hire. Here we go with gen. So the genitive, mercies, wares, and merchandise. So again, if we're in Aboriginal Proverbs, this would mean, God can forgive someone or, maybe coerce them with these things. Or when you do work for him, you'll receive these things. But we have to remember that these things had to come from someone else, right? Lots of times in the text, God is saying that he has a place prepared for someone, but he needs to get rid of the old people that were already there. So again, same thing if you think about American history and what happened to the American Negroes, so-called Negroes, but the Aboriginals that were here prior to anyone. And that part has been hidden or taken or removed from his story. Because again, this is his story he's telling you in school and having you worship these men that have done disgusting things to your people. And it's very important because we're losing that, to emphasize that. And the fact that because we didn't know that most so-called black people were already here in America before the prior to the transatlantic slave trade, it's very important to go ahead and apply that to your history as well, right? So these merchandise and these things that are given by God, okay, had to come from someone, just like Genesis. Like I keep telling you guys, I'm seeing, and I just know for my own self, and this is why you have to do your own research and go ahead and do the whatever you need to do to come to whatever understanding you're going to have about it. Okay. But it's very important to know these things or you won't go anywhere. And that's why there's a certain spirit in those people that have been oppressed and removed from the story that is waking them up. No one else is going to, everybody else is going to have a strong delusion and going to keep on following religion and dogma and different things like this. And this whole Christ crucified. We already know that it was spoken in this text that they sent Christ crucified amongst these people as a stumbling block, right? So this is to keep you from either going within yourself or looking for yourself to be your own savior, which you have to do with every other aspect in your whole entire life. Why would it be different when it comes to religion or when it comes to this word? And then you have to think about the fact that it also is speaking about certain people in a sense, but there are these people that are going around doing these things that I look at as ruthless that are being led by God in the biblical aspects too. So again, history is his, and it would be funny to find out that this biblical text is theirs as well. And we're going to go ahead and link some things up today. I think I've been amazed doing the brief research that I've done in the past 25 minutes to pull some stuff up and show it to you guys. So it says it was given a specific application to the heavenly reward earned by those who show kindness to the helpless and those from whom no requital can be expected, meaning disposition to forgive or show compassion is contested in early 13th century sense of an act or exercise of forbearing. So for fathers, for bearers, these things, you know, so are we talking about like the booty, okay? The goods, okay? Or goodwill is from 1300s. Are we in the third day in Genesis again? As an interjection attested from mid 13th century, earlier in French, but in French the word largely has been suspended. Blah blah blah. We don't need to know all that. Desecrationary act. Okay. Seat of mercy, golden covering the ark of the covenant. The golden covering of the ark of the covenant. Okay, and I have some stuff coming about these arks as well. So 1530, hence the throne of God. Again, the abode of God, heaven, that can be anywhere. It doesn't necessarily mean that it is in the sky, right? Because I'm telling you, these things are on earth already. They've been there for a long time. Let's see. Okay, so merciless, unfeeling, pitiless, cruel, blah blah blah. Let's see. Exercising forbearing pity. Okay. So again, so now we see that let not mercy, okay, and truth forsake thee. So what is truth? Faith, okay. Well, I don't need to do that. Faithfulness, fidelity. Again, when we're talking about don't be a harlot, this can also mean saying that instead of following what your God-governing forces want you to do, you're going to maybe even go within, or you're going to, for the people or prisoners of war, okay, the aboriginals, the ones that have been cast out of their home, okay, and written out of the story, okay, you know, let's see, faithfulness, fidelity. Okay, that means don't go dealing with your own things, whatever you thought God was. Don't do it this way. We want you to do it the way that this God-governing force has come to reign on you and basically give you our version, and that's what we want you to follow. Okay. So again, in faith, we'll see what that is. Fidelity, loyalty, quality of being true, pledge, like you pledge allegiance all the time. Covenant, from Germanic abstract, such and such, having it characterized by good faith. Okay. Be firm, solid, steadfast. Again, okay, because here's your firmament. Okay. A sense of something that is true. A sense of something that is true. It is first recorded mid 14th century. Are we in the fourth day? Meaning accuracy, correctness is from 1560. Okay, primary verb, speak the truth, as a contrast to lie. Okay. Okay. So, faith is going to be down here. Great. Okay. So it says faithlessness, to trust, to a trust or promise. Okay, so promised land. Do you see what I'm saying? Gain, wealth, these things. Okay, this is what these people wanted when they came. Okay, these foreign entities that are still there, actually supposedly charging up a war that then they will use the prisoners of war and their servants. Right. Let's just go back to the caste system real quick. Let's just go back to it real quick. Here we go. So these are the gods reigning on, in a higher elevated level, okay, or status, because this was one of the oldest forms of slavery again. And it was created by the god of, it says the Indian god of creation, but again, okay. So, so these people here are going to live in a lap of luxury. They're going to use these people, okay, which are the foreigners that have come here that are kin to them, or may not be because they just came from another place and cleaved on to this their wife, which this would be considered. This land would be a gift or a wife or a what do you call it? Something of coming together. Like a marriage or whatnot, okay? And then one would be the master, okay, or the father, okay, what they used to call him, the president, the great spirit father, the great father, things like this, okay? And they even try to do these little cute things with the presidents. Oh, they call him the father of this and that and whatnot, okay? So they'll use these particular people to invade on these particular people in numbers, okay? And lots of numbers. And again, if you want to go back during the 1800s, I still think the Bible, there was stuff being added. And again, regular everyday people could not even have a Bible, nor could they read the ones that were around here in different languages in the Americas at that point in time. Okay, so we don't know what, and you don't have an ancestor here to vouch for or say anything about what it said, okay? Because a lot of the people coming from there were illiterate and I mean overseas or whatever. And then they, not that your ancestors here were illiterate, but there was a language barrier there, right? So they had a couple of, spies, or they put men in certain nations to learn about them. But again, they may have not known everything, right? So these are the outcasts, and this is what everything is sitting on, right? Okay. So now we're saying that so let's just go ahead and read through now, okay? So it says, let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Okay? And then it just, I just hate this, but I just feel like I have to do it. Because it really just melts everything down. It really does. Okay, I think I know what I did wrong. Okay, so object, to oppose, refuse, deny, give up, renounce, to struggle, dispute, wrangle, okay, accuse, blame, let's see, forsake, deny, repudiate, I don't know, give up, refuse. Forsake is chiefly applied to leaving that by which natural affection or a sense of duty should, okay, so duty calls, so we could be talking about someone that is a warrior, in their military or whatnot, okay, of duty, again, call of duty or whatever, should or might have led us to remain, as to forsake one's home, okay? So again, when we're talking about honoring thy mother and father, a lot of these people were bred into empires, okay, because everybody wasn't hanging on no trees. The part of that came from foreigners bringing people in here, and they had to find their way and learn how to use things in order to live. And it also comes from people that were in huge empires, right? All the way from Canada, all the way down to South America and her islands, being displaced, running away. You know what I'm saying? These things being moved around, pushed from place to place by these foreign nations that were put here by God to reign on the earth, which represents Aboriginal people or the originals of a land. It's always been about land. It's that way in your history books, and it's that way in the biblical text. Because again, we could more than likely, and I'll say we are, in my eyes, speaking of the same people and the same deeds that they have done. You have been just misled into thinking otherwise, okay? So, one's home, friend, country, or cause. Now, this is starting to sound even more like military, okay, or going AWOL or just anything like this. A bird forsakes its nest. In the past, passive, it often meant left desolate or forlorn, okay? So again, now that we're clear on these things, let's go ahead and read through. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck. Okay? Write them upon the table of thine heart. So shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of God and man. Okay. And it says, trust in the Lord. Okay. So now we just said you'll have favor and good understanding in the sight of God and man. Okay. So again, man would be their creation, possibly, right? God is the hidden hand or the entity that even rules the president to this day, right? It's the hidden hand that we feel might be there. Okay. And then we're also using understanding. So it's really important to get an understanding. Comprehension, okay, meaning a mutual agreement, okay. It is attested from 1803. Again, this is the noun, but a mutual agreement, okay. That's just like we can come to an understanding. I don't agree with you, you don't agree with me, but we can come to an understanding. I know that this is wrong and this is right, but we can come to a common ground or something sort of this, okay. So comprehend. So are you comprehending even? Like, what can we even look at comprehend? Grasp the idea of. So grasp the idea of it, but does that have to do with the actions? Because then action have to come after the thought. Okay. So stand in the mix of or understand, to stand. Now, again, who are we talking to? And then where can we look at this in the so-called, let's see, caste system? Where are you? Oh, okay. Well, I guess now I need to make note of this. So, okay. Who is standing under though? You know what I'm saying? They're standing under as well. But who's standing way under? Okay. Um, Even when you use that term aboriginal, ab means to be sent away, okay, from your standing. So you're not standing anymore. You're probably lying down dead, like I told you guys in the Illuminati George Washington image with the casket underneath his feet, underneath the black and white checkerboard floor, okay? Or when we're talking about the dome earth and the Sheol, okay? I don't know what the hell is going on with my computer, but it's acting like it want to cut off, okay? If this is the meaning, the under is not the usual word meaning beneath, okay? Between, among, but from Old English under, from pi something, between or among. Now see, look at this. See, oh my goodness, oh, y'all, this mouse, I really just can't. I really just don't have anything else to. Wait, let me see if I can put something underneath it and see if this will make it a little bit better. Maybe it just made it worse. Yeah, it did. Okay. Okay. So let's go ahead and look. So again, this is under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all up in here, but not these people. I'm just playing. I just brought that out of nowhere. I just thought I just had to say it, I guess. Which is just something. So anyways, I'm still looking at the commoners, peasants, and servants. Okay? Still looking at the commoners, peasants, and servants. Okay? So, anyhow, in the sight of God and man. Okay? Trust in the Lord, which again, I told you what a Lord is, because we don't have to go back there. It's just like an owner or a higher up person that has rule over a group of people. Okay? Like a general in the army or something. You know, like just think about the pyramid that I just showed you guys with that in there. Okay? So it says, trust in the Lord. Okay? So give your, trust to the Lord. Okay? And I'm not even sure if we did trust. Because I'm always just trying to do so many things. So among, between, among. Okay? The intestines. Okay? So let's see. Among, between, before, in the presence of. sense of Old English, the meaning, same word among, seem to be the sense in Old English compound, resemble, understand, search as under, whatever, to receive, examine, investigate, scrutinize. Okay. Okay. So again, so let's see. That resemble understanding, such as under. Okay, to receive. Okay, let's see. Under. Consider, change one's mind. Again, sounds like a, I don't know. To begin, to also see. Okay, perhaps the ultimate sense is be close to, compare. Okay, so I know how, I know, literally stand upon. Okay, again, we're going right back to the caste system. And since the mouse is acting up, I don't want to keep going back and then just take so long. Okay, so Germanic language uses a compound meaning stand before. Okay, so again, just trying to see what we're talking about. Also oppose. Okay, for this concept, the Indo-European language, blah, 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 means put together or separate or take grasp. Okay, literally overstand. Okay, seem to have been in literal sense. Okay, so again, go back to the pyramid, rewind it, whatever you have to do. You seen what we're talking about? Is that what we're talking about here? Period. Because I think that we're still, what did it say? There's really no dates in here. But, it still reminds me of Genesis when he says that he wants them to fly above, okay? The earth, meaning you, okay? And it's so funny that the American eagle or the falcon or whatever the hell that thing is that they have, again, okay? So, let's cut. We're going to go ahead and read through 3. I think those are all the words that we wanted to look for. I think that, wait, no, I'm telling the story, okay? Because I think that truth was one that we wanted to look up. Oh, okay, we did look at that one. Okay. So this is just, good faith. Yeah. Okay. Kind of like the truth is stranger than fiction. Okay. So. Okay. So shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of God and man. Trust in the Lord and with all thine heart, and lean not onto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him. So just saying, don't lean in your own ways, acknowledge him. Okay, so even if we just keep that on a simple term and say, are you acknowledging me? Okay, so again, is this okay for me to have my own understanding if I acknowledge the words that Christ is saying and it's telling me something? So that's not my own understanding, is it? It is also you acknowledging the fact of what he said and then working around that in order to find out what the truth is. Could that be? I mean, it could be whatever you want it to be. If you're not afraid. Again, I have denounced the whole God is up there in heaven looking at me every day, seeing if I'm doing this and that, and the devil is waiting underneath the ground to burn me. I know that we're already in the so-called hell, in that realm, underneath everything, and I know that they are in the heavens ruling things. Okay, the principalities and rulers of those people. Okay, so again, it's their system has been set up upon you, and they have deceived you in every way, okay? Leaving out any information about you and yours, and just having you go to these schools and be indoctrinated with what they want you to know, okay? It's just giving information, you regurgitating it and say, okay, you can pass to the next level. And then you can go off to college and then you can pay lots of money that you might go in debt with. And I'm sorry, this is one of the only things in our country that it's unforgiven. So if you don't succeed in school, then you will have to pay us back. But we're going to go ahead and help you out because we know that you're going to become a slave to the system that is so broken, that is already over everyone, that has everybody convinced that this is what we're here to be, is working class citizens, working all the days of our lives until we get really old and can't do anything, and then we can retire and enjoy our family. with a whole bunch of kids that have been messed up in the head because they didn't have mama or daddy. Because now it's not the 50s anymore. Moms have to work too. Lots of moms are single, and we have to leave our children in the presence of a teacher for 6 hours, and then they come home and maybe be with a babysitter for another 3, 4 hours. So basically, we're getting off subject, but I have to say it. You're only getting a couple of hours with and if this is the way that God has set up the world, the all-knowing, can fix anything, do all this, but never answers any prayers really or anything, well, you'll have to have faith or a blind belief that he's doing so. And it could just be a coincidence that it's just happening because you're putting, So again, now you see where I'm at with it. So that's, okay. Because I know that this is a real life system that's happening right now. Okay. Under the guise of your government. Okay. So let's see. Okay. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. Again, so acknowledge him and he'll direct me. So I'm still me. So it's not my own understanding, but it is my own understanding. Do you see what I'm saying? But it depends on who it's coming from. Are you the prisoners of war? Are you the ones that came and got all the booty? Okay. And displaced the empires that were here prior to, or the primitive peoples. Okay. So it says, be not wise on thy own eyes, fear the Lord, and depart from evil. Again, fear. I don't know why, if the Lord is God, why I would want to fear him, or why he would want me to. What would a big, powerful God that doesn't even have to show himself to me for me to believe in him, why would he have to have me fear him? But then I had a different understanding of what's going on here. Okay. Fear, calamity, sudden danger, peril, sudden attack, danger, distress, deception, mass deception. Okay. A lengthened form of verbal root per, to try, risk, sense of state of being afraid, uneasiness caused by possible danger. Now, if you are the foreigners coming here and you've been brought here from wherever you came from for whatever reason, and someone is promising you land, there's nothing to really, and they're going to protect you. They're going to teach you how to farm and give you the land from the people. You don't even have to do the fighting. The military or the lords will do that, or the, rulers or whatever. Will do that for you. All you have to do is come and settle. Okay, or go on a pilgrimage. Okay, so now you get here. What are you afraid of? The only thing that they would be afraid of is the American Indians or Aboriginals, or the people that were already here when they came, that might be like, hey, they just took my land and they gave it to somebody. What did I just sign in that treaty? I don't know. What the hell? You know what I'm saying? Or what's really going on? They just took my land. And then they want to retaliate, and they want to, and you're starving these people out so that they have to come to the Lord, or they have to come to God or their forces in order to be fed rations, or fed, because these people have poisoned them, put things in their water supply, ruined their crops, or taken the crops from these people so that them in the military can eat first, and then these people were starving. They did the same thing to Irish and Scottish and different other people supposedly when they came here too. But they left them with the Aboriginals or natives or indigenous peoples in order for them to learn the tricks of the trade as well. And then they would go off to get their gifts, and then they would just leave these people here struggling and without anything. Okay, rather they were deceived or manipulated, to do these things. Hey, I'm just saying that this is what happened. Okay. So if you're looking at from these people's eyes, what are we talking about here? Okay. Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. Now, what exactly is evil? You know what I'm saying? Would it be evil if I'm doing this because you took all my stuff and I need to eat and feed my family? Okay. Would it be evil if you've given me privileges and I'm a part of the crown, and I don't like the way that you are doing anything to these people, because most time these people came and bred with the original people, and you would not want to see what they were doing to your mother. You didn't like it, so you build up a militia or a rebellious group that would come after these people, kind of like reminds you of the Civil War and the Revolutionary War and things like this. There was people on different colors on each side. I guess it was about right and wrong. I don't know. Okay. But then God, or the governing forces, because they are also outsourcing, okay, to their father's land, okay, to come against their wife, okay, and take all her goods and her children, then they would be more powerful. Okay. So again, and they can call in their brothers and stuff from different countries and things. Okay. So let's see. It shall be health to thy navel. And I'm just wondering if we're talking about naval officers, like naval, like Navy. This was, I didn't know I was going to look this one up, but real quick. Okay. Of or pertaining to a ship specifically pertaining to a navy. Okay. Exactly. Okay. Early 15th century. Are we in the fifth day when God said to, after he lightened things up around here, he said, go ahead and get the ships and stock them and bring those that are like you over in abundance quickly. Bring them. So again, we have an outpouring of people in the 1800s, and even prior to that were coming into different portions of the land. And that's from the way north to the way south in the islands. It just doesn't get any more simple than this. Okay. French naval, 14th century, pertaining to a ship or ships, novice ship. Okay. Okay. Reference in naval buildups for arms, first used in British English in 1930. Anyway, okay, so let's keep on going. Okay. But not wise in thy own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. It shall be health to thy navel and marrow to thy bones. Soft tissue found in the inner bone. Earlier, okay. Let's see. A German mark, marrow. Old Slavic, Lithonia, something. A fugitive sense of impost or central parts. Inner substance. Okay, so it'll be the inner substance. Okay, the essence. Okay, so again, I know we could be talking about something else, but it's still, strengthening up something to have these people here. Again, I just don't know. It just keeps pointing me back. So, okay. And then it kind of reminds me of like columns and things like that were used, throughout time. So, okay. Honor the Lord with thy substance and with the first fruits of all thine increase. Okay. So, with the first fruits, again, we could be talking about merchandise. Okay. Or we can also be talking about giving your firstborn son to whatever portion, okay, that you've already been very good and crafty at. So it's kind of like how generals, usually the son, they can't wait. They're just like, oh, you're going to be in the military. The boy gets older. That's just it. It's just like a generational thing where they just, they get these medals and these, honor and badges and all these things or whatever. Same thing with the other forces. The boys in blue and the ones in boots or dress shoes or whatever the hell you want to say. So again, this is all going to be a part of the firmament, the foundation, the founding fathers, the establishment. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. So, give them the first few fruits, okay? And they could possibly even be, a mixture of indigenous people and the foreigners, okay? So shall thy barns be filled with plenty. So the barns will be filled with plenty, and thy press shall burst with new wine. So again, I'm looking at this in different ways here. This is just the way I do things, and it's just the way I do it. So you have to do your own, research. And we're just doing this freestyle. There's nothing, I'm just brought a couple things up, and this is what we're gonna do. So their barns be filled with plenty. Again, that could be also talking about something that is like a produce or some kind of material, okay, from the earth, okay, corn, oil, whatever it could be, okay, or we could also be talking about they'll have plenty of slaves or men to work for them on their lots or their allotments of land, okay, because those will be the people that would know how to deal with the land first and best. You wouldn't go to another country that doesn't have the same environmental makeup to have those people come and start doing, work. Doesn't make any sense, really. Okay. Thy press shall burst with new wine. Wine can be in reference to blood sometimes, because people go to church and they drink wine, and because it's supposed to be the blood of Christ. So again, could this also be new blood? Okay. Because they've mixed in now with the indigenous people. And I'm going to show you right here where I can find this, possibly right here in Abraham Lincoln's bloodline. Okay. So it says, my son, dispense not the chastening of the Lord, neither be weary of his correction. Correction to who? For whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth. Even as a father, the son in whom he delighteth. Okay? The son who he delights. Not all of the sons, but just the one that he really is fond of. Again, what does this mean? Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding. Okay? So again, this is telling you, happy is the man that findeth wisdom. Okay? And the man that getteth understanding. So again, you're still getting your own understanding. Okay? You're just using certain tools to do so, which is what we do here. Okay? For the merchandise, okay, and this regardless if he's talking about someone that is a part of the governing force or below it, okay? You take it how you want to, okay? For the merchandise, okay, so again, here, now we're talking about merchandise. Of it is better than the merchandise of silver, okay? And the gain thereof than fine gold. So, we must be maybe talking about people and land. We're talking about land and we're talking about people, more than likely, possibly, in this here, okay? In my eyes, okay? For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the grain, and the gain thereof fine gold. She is more precious than rubies. Okay? And all the things thou canst or canst. This is why I don't like really reading the King James, because it's just too, and I see how people get distracted. Okay? Because you guys will know the difference when I'm reading the Living Bible and the King James. Precious than rubies, and all the things thou canst desire are not to be compared unto her. Okay? So, she is more precious than all these things. Okay? And all the things, this is a hot commodity. So, this must be female slaves. This is why they sent off or killed or did things to all of the males, and they kept the women that could actually produce children. Because again, some of these people, which history is not going to tell you, but again, the caste system, if you go back to learn a little bit about you'll know that most of the people that entered into this pyramid, especially toward the top, were eunuchs, meaning they were castrated. Okay? Okay? So this might mean why they brought other foreigners here in order to produce. Now, I say it may stop here, but I think that this is why they brought all the foreigners in order to mate with the women. Okay? In my eyes, the men, the elitists or the people that were a part of this here, right? But then these women that were taken, if they weren't killed, were used, and these would be in the barn or the slave house or the outhouse, okay? These women, they would bring foreigners in, yes, okay, that were of whiter complexion or lighter complexion. And then they would also bring, this is why they brought mostly male slaves over from so-called Africa. And most of those male slaves, out of the 250,000 total Africans during the entire slave trade, the transatlantic, that they brought over here, was never millions, just so you get that straight in case you're new here. Okay? There was only 250,000, and they were mostly men and boys. Okay? So they were bringing them over here to go ahead and go in with the Aboriginal women. They would not be able to touch anyone here. Okay? But the foreigners, but these people that came in, okay, could go into either. Okay? Just know that. Okay? Let's see. And this is why it's probably talking about the whole, don't judge this and correctness and everything, because possibly some of these people would not want to see some of these things done to some of these people. Okay? So, for whom the Lord loveth, he corrects. Okay, we already did this. Okay. She is more precious than rubies, and all the things you can desire are not to be compared unto her. The length of days is in her right hand, and in her left hand riches and honor. And I'm wondering if this is the two cups that the girl in the red dress, the lady in the red dress, is supposed to be holding. I can't remember what the cups were in Revelations for the red dress, but the scarlet dress. Her ways are ways of pleasantness, and all her paths are peace. Okay? So you might, if mom ain't playing games, or if somebody ain't playing games, the children could be peaceful. You know what I'm saying? So again, if you come in and you start slaughtering people, that's going to automatically, those people are not going to be at peace, but they'll give you peace because they'll be a fear or afraid of you. Okay? They'll be afraid of you. So, of course, okay? She is a tree of life to them that lay hold upon her. Again, this is also making me think of a unpure, kind of like what we're talking about in Revelations, basically. Okay? A harlot or whatever. Okay? But again, that can be talking about someone that is laying with people, or someone that was laying arms or hands, and they are actually lending a hand or going on with another nation against someone. Okay, in my eyes, when I'm reading through this text. Okay, she is a tree of life to them. They lay hold upon her. See, now again, this makes me think we're talking about Aboriginal women. Because if this was supposed to be a matriarchal society, why wouldn't we be talking about this? Okay? Prisoners of war. Okay? And happy is everyone that retaineth her. Retain somebody sounds like to, have some kind of authority or power or something over her. The Lord by wisdom hath founded the earth. Okay, by wisdom. So the Lord used his wisdom, okay, in order to find her or found her. So this is how they saying, you use their way that they've done it because they know. Kind of like reminds me of the men of renown, the fallen angels. Y'all seen that movie with Gerard Butler, I believe, in it? And Morgan Freeman was the president. And, it just was so much in there that made me pay attention to this thing. But, of course, it's going to look differently. But, again, I can see it there, the way that they've done it in this movie. I can see it in the biblical text. I can see it in history. I can see it all different ways, okay? So wisdom, knowledge, learning, experience. Again, renown, meaning they were there already, So let's see. Okay. Yeah, so we really don't even have to go any further. You see what I'm saying? Okay? You okay? So let's see. What says? Hold back, restrain. Okay, let's see. She is a tree of life. Okay. What were the trees in Genesis? Good and evil. The tree of life, I think. I think so. I'm not 100%. I'm not trying to be smart. I really don't remember. But to them, they lay hold. She's a tree of life to them. They lay hold upon her. And happy is everyone that retaineth her. So again, of course, if she was being held back, then she, if we're talking about wisdom, you know what I'm saying too. I think we're going to be talking a lot about wisdom in this chapter. So, in this book. So, she would not be happy to be held back, but they are happy, okay, that they've been able to restrain her, okay, lay hands on her, continue keep possession of prisoners of war, okay, take into feudal services. What is this? This is either going against the enemy to take something, or there's a feud going on. And that's another thing that happens in marital affairs. Okay? Hold back, remember. Okay? Remember. Hold back, keep back. Detain, restrain. I'm just saying. To hold. To have and to hold. It reminds me of a marriage. Okay? To stretch, meaning keep. Another. Attach, one's person. Keeping in service, meaning to keep in mind. Okay? Be mindful. He said, remember your mother and father, and don't forget that in my law. Okay? A servant, a retainer, a servant. Okay? Let's see. Oh, servants, right here. Peasants, servants, commoners, pilgrims, voyagers, militias, Okay. One who retains a hold, meaning, okay, so yeah, a bridge, okay. Hold into place, okay, whatever. Okay, so again, wait, let's see what the retainer is. Noun 1, fee to secure service. I think this is what we're going to start talking about is fees in a minute. Fee to secure service, originally act of keeping to oneself. Again, fee paid to, okay, so yeah. So we've already seen this, okay. So the Lord by wisdom hath founded the earth. By understanding hath he established the heavens. So they've created the abode of God, okay, here in America. Let's keep going. By his knowledge. So see, he has knowledge because the military was formed here, even with Washington and more that came before him and with him, was established in here, present here, okay, way before we had a president, okay? Remember that, okay? By his knowledge in the depths are broken up. The clouds drop down the dew. I don't know if we can, because I'm just showing this to you because if you're one that is supposed to be hearing this, you will know exactly what we're talking about. Rain. He hadn't made a man rain on the earth. No one to till the ground. So this is after the breaking up. The tilling is the breaking up, the mixing up, the enslavement, the killing, the slaughtering, the raping. That's the part, okay? Invaded, conquered, like this. See? These things. Aryan, light skin. Atman. It was making me think about Adam, Atom. Or the breath. Sati, the burn. Okay? Satire. What am I thinking? Well, okay. Climate. Okay. Let's see. Invaded, conquered. Influenced India by giving religion. Said nature was symbolic to gods. Okay. So I don't know what that means. Mean that you gotta let them come up in there and take all your damn resources. Okay. What is this? Military power. Okay. I'm just reading some of the stuff that goes along with this. Okay. You could look at this on your own. Contribution, literature, science, math, art. This is all they stuff that they've been keeping you dumbed down with. You think you're so smart because you done went and did it. But in all actuality, it's just to fill your mind up with other things that will not lead you to an awakening. I'm not saying it cannot. I'm just saying that you'll think you know something. Okay? Enlightenment. Okay? Art, caste, husband as God, arranged marriage. Again, like, you just have to just use your own. You just have to do that. Okay? Okay? So, let's see. So now there's someone to reign because the military has come and established things. Think 1775, 1776, something around this time, where they received freedom from the throne to then do what they want. But again, you didn't get any freedom, really. So I don't even know what you're still celebrating the shit for. It's just ridiculous to me. So, again, we were in the seventh day. I'm telling you that we could be possibly talking about the 1700s. That's when your government can rest. And the seventh day, God can rest. So you'd be the judge. Then you see what the Lord God started to do in chapter 2. Okay? Even if it's the same entity, it is of a higher ranking. You see what I'm saying? Or we are talking about two separate things. Okay? Because the real gods or hand behind the president, which is just a puppet, that's what's reigning on everyone. And it's above here. And you're not going to see it. So, by his knowledge and depths are broken, the depths. Now, darkness was on the face of the deep, right? So now it's all broken up, watered down, whitewashed, flooded. Do you see what I'm saying? Everything taken. They down on their knees, right? But it's broken up. And this is what makes God happy. So you better recognize real quick. Okay? My son, let not them depart from thine eyes. Keep sound wisdom and discretion. Okay? So shall thy be life upon thy soul, and grace to thy neck. Then shalt thou walk in the way safely, and thy foot shall not stumble. When thou layest down, thou shalt not be afraid. Yea, thou shalt lay down, and thou shalt sleep, and it'll be sweet. Okay? Kind of like how what they was telling so-called, we'll just say foreigners, when they were putting them in these lands, and then they were getting raided by Indians. But then the military came in and cut that down. And now, since they had faith in the military and gave them forces and gave their sons to them to go fight against you, and then later on consume your sons because you don't want to do no damn research, and took them in and also used them like they're doing today for this foolishness, and never using the sons and daughters of the elitists. You better wake up, dude. Like, it just frustrates me. It really does. It just frustrates me because I don't see how we can't see this. You see, because we've signed up to someone else's interpretation, or we've gone down the path of their mass manipulation, and now we're indoctrinated. You're not even thinking on your own, right? You're not leaning on your own understanding. So in this case, it's the Bible. I don't have to agree with everything in here. If this was talking to my people, then you were wrong. And I'm not going to look at it that way. Because now I see, right? But if I'm looking at it from the eyes of a European or a foreigner, I'm not going to be able to see it that way. And that's what your churches do. That's what the churches are there for. Because they work for your governing force. 501c3 or 3C, whatever it is. They have to put the governing force first, and then God, right? So then you are participating and paying into that, okay? And you're going there thinking that this, it's just, I don't know, it's sad. It's sad, but it's going to be different for each groups of people, different nations. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that we have taken in their way of looking at it is the sick, twisted thing that has us in the depths and in the claws like we are right now. And I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. I'm not saying this book really is everything when your eyes is open. Remember how, you know, it's open your mind, like the so-called serpent said in the beginning. It's going to open your eyes to what? Good and evil. You know what I'm saying? Well, what are we talking about here? Okay? Because now we're saying, okay, not be afraid of sudden fear, neither of the desolation of the wicked. So the wicked would be the people that's pissed off that you took their stuff, and they're coming at people because they don't have anything else to do because you've taken everything, including food and ways to feed their means to take care of their family. Same thing that goes on in the hood today, but nobody can, you see what I'm saying? Because everybody has a Europeanized, foreign view on what's going on with our people, and you go in and get indoctrinated in their schools and churches, you can't even see. So like we say, everybody got a way of looking at us or so-called hate us, and we do the same damn thing to ourselves because you're going with an indoctrinated, mass manipulated, miseducated mindset in religion and in the education system. That's the generational curse. Okay. For the Lord shall be thy confidence and shall keep thy foot from being taken. Your land may be back. Withhold not good from them to whom it is due, when it is the power of thine hand to do it. So when you have power in your hands to do it, don't hold it from the people that you know are supposed to have it, or that God wants to have it. And God set up this system. So he would want the people here to get the things, not you. Right? Okay. So withhold not good from, and then this family line, I think, is following Abraham Lincoln. So he's the one that supposedly freed the slaves. But so it's so many levels in every verse to this. But you have to know first who you are, spot out who they are, and what's being said in this word. Okay? Okay. Say not unto thy neighbor. Okay, wait a minute. For the Lord shall be thy confidence and shall keep thy foot from being taken. Withhold not good from them to whom it is due. Okay, so don't withhold the land or food or whatever resources from those who is due. Who knows if we're talking about the aboriginals or the foreigners, when it is in your power of thy hand to do it. Say not unto thy neighbor, go and come again. So leave and come back, and okay, wait a minute. Now it says, you might think it says, and tomorrow I will give. But no, it says, and to marrow. Because remember, we just talked about the marrow. So is this what we're talking about? Because there's a space between. The marrow or marrow. Is this the same thing that we were just talking about? Okay. I will give. So that would be the strengthening, the bone, the structure. Might be represent these columns and stuff that we see all over the place. Give it to them. Go and come again, and tomorrow I will give. So you tell your neighbor, go and come again, but then tell the marrow or whatever, I will give you when thou hast it by thee. Okay? Devise not evil against thy neighbor, seeing he dwelleth Okay. Securely by thee. Strive not with a man without cause, if he have done thee no harm. Okay, strive not with a man without cause, if he have done thee no harm. Okay, envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. So envy thou not. So don't envy the oppressor, and choose none of his ways, for the froward is an abomination to the Lord, but his secret is with the righteous. Okay? It's with the righteous. Okay? The curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked. So again, who is the wicked? Because it seems like if anybody being cursed, if anybody can get shot down by the police, if anybody's children are being targeted by the military, and you have these people in your schools hounding your children, asking them to join the military services, and also, okay, calling their phones, text messaging them, and adding them on social media, okay, right in your schools, in the lunchrooms, recruiting your children in impoverished neighborhoods for gifts and paying for school and travel. And let's not forget war, right? Okay, let's not forget war that possibly could be coming upon us right now. For what does it have to do with you, black and brown people in impoverished neighborhoods, that you're going to give your children in order to go into the military, to go and fight their war, that none of them will actually touch foot down or have their family members go down, and your children are just dying and coming back sick? They don't offer them no help when they come back. But they'll give them a discount at the local grocery store or something, right? Or honor them on a day, right? Okay. So the curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked. So this is why they try to add us to the whole thing of Ham. When, if you look at it, they wouldn't even be the same descendants. It would be more like Shem, if you want to go that way. Okay. Which I'm not going to do that anymore. Right. I'm staying simply to this. Okay. I'm not representing any of it until I know for a fact. And then even, the curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked, but he blesseth the habitation of the just. And the just are the commoners, the servants, and everyone else on the top of that pyramid. Surely he scorneth the scorners, but he giveth grace unto the lowly. So who is the lowly? Is it the lower half of the pyramid with the commoners and the servants? Okay. It didn't say low, but the lowly, right? The wise shall inherit glory. So the wise, those with wisdom, will inherit the glory. And when you think of glory, I just think military. I think of the movie Glory. I think about all that, okay? But shame shall be the promotion of fools. Again, fools will be shamed. So you go, and if right now we don't so-called fear the Lord. See, I think fearing the Lord is what's going to wake you up to see who we really dealing with and where they really stand. So to notice that fear of the Lord is not to be like, oh, I fear the Lord. How? He never shows up. So you obviously don't fear him unless you're talking about death. And that's something they gave to you to worry about where you're going to go when you die, when nobody has been there to come back and tell you what the hell is going on. But you don't want to you can't even live. You're dead on earth. You can't even live. So who cares? When I die, I will be alone. Somewhere doing something. I don't know. It might not be anything. But they have you worried about fear of that, so that you need to worship God while you're alive, so that when you die, you will be able to go there instead of burning in hell when you're already in it. Watching your people suffer the way we do. being shot down by people of so-called authority because we are foolish to know that these people have never signed up to protect you, the so-called citizens. They are to protect the foundation, the firmament, the established, the crown. Those people. They're to keep you in line so that you don't go starting anything or running your mouth. You see what I'm saying? To go against what they have going for them. Right? So, again, that was me just reading 3. The next video, I am going to bring all of this stuff that I have back here out to you guys and show you. Okay? I keep stopping because my throat is bothering me. But I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you where we should be concerned. So, thank you guys for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.